Hello, everybody, and welcome to New Earth Rising. I am Michelle Ambergy, the Awakener, one of many, and we are here. I'm here with Sharon, my shenanigator buddy, and we're doing a amazing, super special live presentation this evening. We are going to be working with Spirit. We're going to be sharing with you guys first to start with about how Sharon and I each got into doing this work that we do, and kind of explaining how you get there. Every one of us has a unique experience, a unique journey into this, but it's really, really fun to hear because we'll kind of remind you that you too may have had a really cool paranormal experience that maybe you kind of, oh no, that wasn't a big thing, or it was my imagination. And you know, we live and swim and have our being in this huge place that is filled with life. And one of the things is this spirit world. And so Sharon and I are going to share with you, and then we're going to use the spirit box, and we are going to go in and we are going to make connection with spirit through the spirit box live right here with you guys. And then when we get done, we're going to take your questions because I imagine you might have a few. And so before we get going, may I present to you my love, my sweetheart. I love her dearly. She's my dear friend, Sharon Sananda Kumara, with the many names. Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm so excited that you're sharing this with us.
Oh, so am I. I'm really excited to be here too. And I think we got everything going. Michelle, do you see us live on New Earth Rising?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay. Okay. So it sounds like it's
we are live there. And we are looking good.
Oh, yay. So this is our first attempt at streaming live on two YouTube channels at the same time. So it's exciting and a little nerve-wracking, but we did it. Yay.
It is. Well, and Sharon gets to be the tech girl, so it's not nerve-wracking for me at all. And again, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, I love doing this kind of stuff. So thank you for sitting back and letting me take the reins.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. And today we're going to be talking about spirit, communication with spirit. And I'm really excited, like Michelle said, to share with you. And please, if you have any questions or anything, any comments or anything, we can't wait to communicate with you about that, about what we're talking about. And then we're going to do some spirit box. A spirit box session where we've shared a couple things on here, I believe, with spirit box and EVPs, and I'm not sure which channel I'm on anymore. So I think it's either on mine or New Earth Rising.
One of the many places we exist in time and space.
Yeah. So okay. So this is we are on. I want to make sure I'm on the right channel here. Yes. Okay. Anyway, it's really cool. And it's one of the things that I've been doing for a long time. And I found that it validates that we are communicating with spirit when we use EVPs and spirit box sessions. And as always, trust is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And protection too.
Yeah. We always start our shows with a little prayer too, just so people know before Sharon and I go on. We always start with a prayer, with asking for protection and guidance and everything. It's important. It's important habit to get into.
Totally. And we've got Metatron in our backs. So, you know, can't go wrong with that.
Nope. He's one of the archangels to call on for technical stuff too. So you want him if you're doing any of this kind of crazy stuff we've gotten ourselves into.
It's fun though. It's fun always to push the edge of the envelope and grow a little bit more with what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sharon, share with us how you got here. You know, you do so many different things and you're such a prolific teacher and you're so wise and you're so conscious, you know, you're just so awakened and you tap into all these different realms with all the different things that you do. How did you get here? How does this work?
Oh, well, you're very kind. But I don't definitely don't have all the answers except for answers for what I know to be true for me at this point in time. And things change daily sometimes, but yeah.
It'd be different tomorrow, right?
And coming from one who is also all of those things you mentioned as well. Thank you, Michelle. Well, and a lot of us here who are maybe watching can relate to this, is that we were maybe psychic children. And I think that children we just come out naturally with our psychic abilities, unless there's a lot of trauma at the time. But it's our being psychic and intuitive and connected to spirit, to the other realms, I totally believe is natural. It's a natural state of being for us. And so I was able to, well, I guess you could say I see dead people kind of thing, you know? So I was able to see spirit, but it scared me because none of the adults around me understood what was happening. And it didn't happen all the time, but it happened enough for me to realize that I'm different than what was going on around me, and people were talking about it and I couldn't talk about it, being raised Catholic. Actually, my parents weren't practicing Catholics, but we ended up living with our grandmother after my parents got divorced, our grandparents. And so when my grandfather died, when I was 8, he appeared in the window. This is the one I remember the most. He appeared in the window, and we were sleeping on the second story, my sister and I. And there he is, just floating, looking in the window at me. And I'm wide awake. I had just gone to bed, and it scared the bejesus out of me because that was something that was extremely clear, and I knew who he was. So since I didn't really get any support from from my the kids around me or my family, and there was a lot going on, and a lot of us do that, we suppressed it so we could fit in, that type of thing, even though sometimes, and we normally don't anyway. And then I had my near-death experience. My stepfather passed in 98, and things started opening up for me. Then I saw him walking toward me. The night he passed, I was taking a nap on the sofa, and I saw him walking toward me, just as clear as day. And I could see him looking past me. I could tell he was looking past me, not looking at me, but looking past me. And I heard in my mind him say, or this was what he was saying in his mind, and I could hear it telepathically, "How the hell do I get out of here?" and
Wow.
that would be my dad and my stepdad. Yeah, we were very close. And so he walked right past me. I could see he was looking, and probably could have been the tunnel. I don't know. But I'm sure that what it was, and his loved ones or whatever. And he just walked past me, and he was focused on something and went past me. So I started reading. I wanted to learn about the afterlife and what happens when we die after my stepfather passed. And I started reading any books I could get my hands on mediumship. James von Prague, George Anderson, that's who I started with, and John Edward. And I realized this is what makes sense, not what the Catholic religion was teaching me, that, we either go to heaven or hell, and purgatory, which I now believe is the earthbound spirit, that realm.
Yeah.
I believe that's what the Catholic Church calls purgatory.
It makes sense, huh?
Yeah. So after my stepfather died, my mom wanted to talk to him very badly. Somehow her friend was a psychic, and so she talked us into getting a Ouija board. And I know, yeah. I only used a Ouija board once when I was a kid, and it didn't move for me, thank goodness, because they're not for kids. They're not for children.
No, they're not toys.
You got it. They're not toys. Thank you. They're a tool. Yes, they're a tool. So when my mother and I got on the Ouija board, with my hands on it, it was moving very, very quickly. And we got all the information we needed to know that we were talking to Dad. So moving, and then I started feeling him around me and getting communications with me. I started having out-of-body experiences, that type of thing. So that was my process. And then when my mother passed, I ended up buying a angel board, because I wanted to, we were really close, and I have I have spirit boards. They get a bad rap.
Angel board? I've never heard of that.
It's a Ouija, you could call it a Ouija board, but it has angels on it. And I can grab it here in a second and show you, but
cool.
I also have a wolf face on a board. And anyway, I started in an angel board. So I was talking to Mom on an angel board, because I didn't want to use a Ouija board, that cardboard, cheapy little board. You know, you can make a spirit board or a talking board out of anything. You can do it on a table, anything. Wood works the best, but you can, just using some kind of planchette, put letters around and then talk to spirit. But again, it's important to know what you're doing and protect yourself. Yeah. So I started using angel board, talking to my mother, and she came through loud and clear. I was living in Texas, in San Antonio at the time. And when I get off work, I go out in my backyard, sit there, and just talk to Mom. And then she's the one who brought in my guide. And I was using my angel board after that to, I switched to a third eye board after that, because I saw this beautiful third eye board. And so I was talking to my guide on my spirit board. As I was using that, I noticed my abilities started coming back. I could sense spirit around me. My guides were helping me to communicate with them. They were teaching me how to open up to spirit, how to clear our whatever gets in the way of communicating with spirit. I saw lifetimes after lifetime where I was persecuted, things like that, and cleared a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So then I started using different tools. I started after the board, and I would do readings for people on the board, just for fun. Cool. Just for fun. I didn't have a business at that time, but just doing it for fun. And then I started using oracle cards, and I bought some tarot cards, and I wasn't disciplined enough at the time to work with the tarot. It wasn't something that resonated with me at the time, although I do have a beautiful deck and I love tarot, but it wasn't my deal. It's not everyone's deal, but some people just, are amazing with the tarot, and there's a connection there. So I used oracle cards and things like that, and bought Doreen Virtue's cards and lots of cards. So I started connecting that way, and using tools at first, tools like pendulum. I would use a pendulum to connect, anything that that I could use to feel that connection. And then I started trusting my own abilities, and I was using my body as a pendulum.
Yeah, absolutely.
And communicating that way, where I would, and trust is huge. And I understand that, because we all deal with that, trusting what we're getting. And I trust my clairsentience. I'm a huge feeler. Empaths are, I'm sure there's a lot of empaths here. I'm a huge feeler. So I use my clairsentience quite a bit. I do have clairvoyance and clear knowing, lots of, clairs that we can use at different times or use together. And my guides are the ones who taught me all this. I sat in meditation, and I still do sit there with them. And they're the ones who taught me. I had a master teacher that taught me about spirit communication. You've heard of Katumi, right? Katumi?
Yeah, I've worked with him for quite.
There you go.
I don't work with him so much now, but there was a period when I worked with him a lot.
Yeah, same here. He was my teacher when it came to communicating with spirit. He'd sit there with me, help me and give me tips and tools and things like that.
Didn't he work with Alice Bailey or Madame Blavatsky too? Is Madame Blavatsky?
Yes.
Who was a very powerful psychic medium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And now we both, Michelle and I can't wait to hear your story, Michelle, about how you got started, the synopsis of it. Now we both have businesses, and or it's a profession for us, because I see, and I'm sure you would agree, Michelle, we see how, especially mediumship, if someone has lost a loved one, how when you have that connection and you're able to get that connection for people, which it's just a matter of helping people out, because we all have this ability. It's just a matter of honing it and trusting it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how it helps people with some peace, some semblance of peace. Is amazing. Yeah.
So many people have a fear of death because of not really being clear of what's on the other side.
Right.
Because nobody's given us an answer. But mediums are. Right? When we can communicate with people's loved ones on the other side, and we get evidence, and we tap into stuff that we could never have known. To bring for the people that we're doing readings for. And it's so beautiful. It's such an honor to be a part of people's lives in that way too.
Totally.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're so good at it. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
it's like, oh my gosh, you're so good.
Well, so yeah. Good. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, we all have good days and bad days, and good connections, and no, I shouldn't say bad, good days and not so good. And, really, really clear connections. And then some connections aren't as clear. It's just like everything else.
Correct. And that's very, very true. That's with doing, the psychic work, the mediumship work, any of that. Sometimes you get a good bang on, and sometimes it's very fuzzy. And I've had clients that I've had to say, sorry, I am not connecting, and this isn't working. And that breaks my heart, because I really want to help people. But a lot of times people are creating their own barriers, they're like, oh, prove to me you're a psychic.
Yeah.
It's like, the proof is I've been doing this for 22 years professionally, and I make a living at it. That should
so
be
you must be doing
right there, right?
You must be doing something right. Yeah.
Something's right. Something's right.
Not to pat ourselves on the back, but exactly. But
and
yes,
pat
ourselves on the back. But just if I can throw one thing in here real quick, Michelle, and then I want you to share your story, the synopsis of your journey. When I lost it already. Oh my gosh. Okay. Something about being true to yourself. Okay. Oh, I know what it was. If someone's a fraud when it comes to this kind of work or anything like this, and they're a scammer and all that, which, I don't, in my realm, I don't see that hardly at all. Maybe some people might not have honed their abilities or their gifts enough to really move their frequency up. Some psychics only read the lower astral plane, and that and that's fine. I work, we work with higher planes. Everyone has a purpose, but if you're really true to yourself, and you're working from the heart, and it's not about the money, it's about being of service. Exactly. It all falls together, and then you don't have to worry about a thing.
No,
yeah,
because you're in service to. In my view, I'm in service to God.
Yeah,
right. It's like, I'm in service to God. I'm here as a channel for God. God is creator, the universal mind source, the infinite intelligent wisdom. I'm that conduit, and that's it.
Yeah,
and it's not about me. It's about our clients. It's about the people that we're helping.
I love that. That's one of the first things.
A big difference. Yeah,
it does. That's one of the first things that Yeshua told me. My guides told me, because I used to get, in the very beginning, I used to get really, really, you just want to bring through the best information and blow people's minds and stuff like that. It's like, oh, and so I'm so nervous. Well, he said, you know what? It's not about you. it's about the client. It's about the client, not only them, but also not only is the person sitting in front of you or people sitting in front of you, it's also the spirit. Spirit is your client too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's about them, not about you. So get out of your own way.
Yep. And it's so true. And the best psychic mediums are the ones who can do that.
Yeah.
And I've seen really good psychic mediums get caught up in the whole thing. And, it shifts, it changes, it becomes something else. And that's okay. We're all in our place that we're supposed to be. So, but my journey,
yes,
I was incredibly psychic, clairvoyant, super empathic as a child. And so I had my invisible friends. Did you have an invisible friend, Sharon?
Yes.
When you're little? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it seems like, children do, because like you said, children are born. This is natural. Being psychic, being able to feel energies, being able to see things, be able to hear things through, from other dimensions, being able to be in that, what we call the imagination, but in that space where we can perceive more than just the physical. And it's so natural.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has it and everybody can use it. You just need to learn how. But so that was my childhood up until I was about, up until I was probably about 6. And then it was kind of like, my parents would be kind of like, let's not do this.
Yeah.
And we kind of started moving around, and we moved, cross country. We're doing, different things. My dad was moving up in the company and it was so exciting. But when we landed back in Los Angeles, I was the new kid. I was in 5th grade and I was out on the playground and I saw angels fly across the sky. And I was so excited. I ran into the teachers, into the room, and all the kids had gone in. And I was the only one on playground. I saw this. So I ran in and I told the teacher, there's angels on the playground. And the whole class was silent and then burst into laughter.
Wow.
And they were like, you need to go to the principal's office. So my mom had to come and pick me up, and they would not let me back in school until I had a psychiatric evaluation.
Oh my gosh.
And so that was a big boom. Oh, I'm clamping this thing down. My mother was clairvoyant. Both of my aunts were clairvoyant. My grandfather was clairvoyant. My biological father that I met years later was Native American. He was super psychic. And so it's kind of like I had it running through both ends, but that scared me and shamed me. And I really shut it down. And I know, and I did the normal thing. I went to school. I had fun. I dated, I met, the love of my life, got married, had kids, the whole thing. But there was always I always was a little step ahead. I always would sense things. So it was still running at a low level, but it wasn't until after I got a divorce and went through kind of the trauma of that. And I'm thinking almost like the trauma opened it up again, because I needed to be really functioning with all pistons, and I had 2 young kids to raise. And I think my mommy senses came out, and it just began to grow. And it wasn't too long after my divorce, only a couple of years, where I just started having these spiritual experiences. I had a woman who lived next door to me that we loved each other so much. And all of a sudden she came over and gave me a book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And she goes, I think you might be interested in this. And I'm like, whatever, I'm living at the beach. I'm party girl, whatever. Well, I started reading this book and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I met a guy who was, doing pranic healing. And I went and did pranic healing. And that opened up my psychic stuff again. And so I just had this trail of these amazing experiences. And so in 2000, I started really studying. And it wasn't very long before people were coming to me and wanting readings and stuff. And so it was like spirit started providing that. And it was 2002 when I quit my accounting job and started working full time, doing reading and healing and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty amazing. It happened really, really quick when I look in hindsight. And so I've been doing this professionally for 20 years, like literally having the website professionally. And it's a constant growth. We're always growing. I was always learning. I was always finding new teachers, new techniques, new healing techniques, working with different things. And Sharon, you just had an OBE class. And, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm like, whoa, something new. Awesome. Let's do that too. And I think if we continue to learn, continue to grow, it's really important to be a good psychic, to be a good medium. And I love it. I love it. And, now I have a full-on business in spiritual teaching, and I teach people how to hone their skills so they can do it. In 2019, I woke up one morning and I heard that phrase, you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. And that was when my focus really turned on really helping people learn how to do this, how to connect with their inner divine flow, and how to begin to do that themselves. Because ultimately, that's what we want to do. I would so much rather people be able to get their own messages. Now, of course, it's but shoot myself in a foot, because there go my clients, because now they can all get their own psychic readings, right? But that's okay.
Well, the goal is to put ourselves out of business, right? and try something else.
But it's so beautiful. And, you mentioned John Edwards. I was a little bit opposed to doing the mediumship thing, right? I was like, nah. And I think I probably had some experiences as a child that I blocked out, because I was like, I'm not doing it. And I was watching John Edwards. I was fascinated, but I'm not doing it. And I heard a voice say, go do that. And I was like, nope. And I actually got pushed off the couch. Something pushed me forward. I didn't fall completely off, but all the way to the edge of the couch. And it was, again, go do that.
Wow.
And it took me probably another year or two before I did that. But it was kind of like, oh my gosh. And it was, it was such a voice that didn't scare me. It like filled me with goodness, with yumminess, with warmth. So I knew it wasn't a bad thing, but it took me a while to be like, okay, I'm going to talk to dead people. But I can tell you, I learned very quickly that if you're dating someone that you're not really into, great way to get rid of them is, I see dead people.
Yeah. Or you believe in UFOs and extraterrestrials. That happened to me.
I've been abducted a couple of times, so there's
that.
Yeah,
I've been abducted. There you go. That'll work.
It's so funny, but yeah, it's been a journey. And I used to work when I was still doing accounting. I worked for a woman who is a psychiatrist, and she was doing study on psychic people and how it's related to childhood trauma. And she was finding that there were parts of the brain that lit up, that went online, is kind of, I think, what she called it, when you have trauma, because you are having to be super sensitive. You got to be high alert, and it activates parts of the brain that are used for psychic and intuitive and mediumship type experiences and activities. So that was really cool. That was interesting working with her before I even really got into this stuff, and having that behind there too.
Right. I've heard that too, that accessing the other realms could be easier for people. I guess easier is the word, for people who have suffered trauma. And, or survivors, I should say, of trauma, not suffered, but survivors of trauma. And that makes sense.
Yeah, it really does.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because a lot of it is just having your senses, because we got our 5 physical senses, and we have 5 etheric senses, if you will, which is clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairgoustience, clairsentience, what I call clairsavants, the clair knowing.
Yeah.
I like that word savant. I want to be a savant somehow.
Clair savant.
Clair savant.
I think you already are.
I'm savant. But yeah, and it's so we always have those 10 senses. And so when you have trauma, when you have anywhere where you need to tap in deeper, more intensely, I believe those come online.
Yeah.
We use them. Think mothers are natural, at that, because you got to have your spidey senses out there making sure your little chickadees are doing okay.
Right.
My kids used to freak out. They'd come home from school and they'd be like, "You got in a fight again?" And it's like, how did you know that? Did the school call you? I didn't think anybody saw. I went, "No, I saw." My kids would be like, "Oh God, Mom is such a weirdo." I didn't always catch it, but a lot of times I did.
Well, yeah. I'm sure I thought my parents were weirdos, even though they weren't into this kind of stuff. I used to make them drop me off down the street to go to a movie with my friends and stuff like that when I was before I got my license. Parents are supposed to embarrass their kids, their teenage kids. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It was fun. It was super fun. I used to freak my kids' friends out too. One time my son was having a little party up in his room. Wasn't supposed to be. I went to go tell him dinner was ready, and I opened the door and there were like 6 kids sitting there, and I went, "Well, hello, what's happening here?" And and you saw a couple of like cans go behind the back, It was like, and I just, all of a sudden I turned and looked at one girl and I went, "Honey, your mom loves you. You need to talk it out." And she burst, out crying. And the guys are all, "Oh God, what is this? Did you talk to her mom?" I'm like, "I don't even know her." And we ended up sitting there having a chat with all the kids talking about this poor girl who was having problems with her mom. And we sent her along, and she went and had a conversation with her mom, and things were cleared up.
Nice.
So it's so beautiful how things like that happen. All the other kids tiptoed around me after that, because they were like, but that's a good thing too.
Have you ever seen Teresa, Long Island medium, Teresa Caputo?
Yeah.
Well, when she first started coming out on TV, when she first started, which was 6, 7, 8 years ago, I don't know, her kids were embarrassed. They were embarrassed that she would go up to people and give them messages from spirit, that type of thing. Her, not just her kids, but her husband too. Yes. Until she started getting rich and she started getting famous. And they're like,
"Well, maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah, this is pretty cool." And they supported her and wanted to work for her,
At least they were good. They came in and supported her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she did good. She's the real deal.
She is the real deal. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Love it.
We all want to be like Teresa. So.
Totally true. Awesome. So what are we doing today? I'm so excited. And also, I just really quick just want to say hello to, we've got Marianne here. We've got Monica, and we've got our Lorraine, our buddy Lorraine.
Yay, Monica,
so welcome,
Lorraine.
Everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And we're going to start getting into the fun stuff now. Let's do it.
So if anyone has any questions, Marianne.
Marianne we're going to see if both of us are real psychics, and using your powers and just my name. Can you tell us something about myself?
That's so funny.
That's not what we're doing today. I'm sorry.
No, we're not.
I'm setting boundaries.
It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work that way. And it's not, we don't consider it powers anyway. It's an innate ability that we all have. It's just that Michele and I have worked very hard at honing our abilities. And it's to, I told my guides, I made an agreement with my guides that anytime I work with someone, it's for healing.
Yeah.
We're not fortune tellers. We don't, that type of thing. You can always go on 1-800 buy a psychic or something.
Yeah,
but
California Psychics is great.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But I know Michele is all about healing too. What we do is we help people heal. Now, if you have a legit question that you would like help with or something like that, we will be very happy to look at it and see what we get. And you don't have to reveal anything about yourself, but other than if you have you want help with something. So we're not here to prove to anybody.
I've been here too long to be doing proving myself.
Yeah, we're done proving.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. But thank you for being here, Marianne. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And thank you, Marianne, because, that is a good question. And you gave us an opportunity to share this part of what we're doing. So, all questions are good questions, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, totally.
So you guys, as we get moving along and we start working with spirit, and Sharon is going to share some past recordings that she has, and then we're going to do it for reals.
Yeah, we're going to do a few minutes.
If you guys have questions about what we're doing along the way, we are so happy to answer those questions to the best of our ability. Yeah. So let's do it. I'm so excited.
Okay. Well, let me share a little bit about EVPs and spirit box for those who maybe don't know. So I started using a digital recorder. I heard about EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, to get spirit voices. And I wanted to communicate with my mom at the time, my parents, and I tried it. I didn't get anything. I just left the recorder running instead of actually engaging. So what I did was I just left the recorder running, hoping that I would get somebody to say something on the recorder. I was not educated on how to do anything about it. So I didn't get anything. And then I started watching ghost adventures and things like that, and which I've always been totally in love with Zach for some reason, but I don't watch it anymore.
He's personable.
Yeah. he's different. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Anyway, so then I realized, okay, so you have to sit there and engage. You need to be engaging with spirit in order to, and tell them what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I was using a recorder to communicate. And it was after my sister and I, the first time I used a recorder to communicate and get EVPs was with my sister. And we got some good stuff with our dad. Yeah. We got voices. I mean, and the energy, since their daughters were there together, that made it even better because it brought in the energy with them is stronger. And so we got some good stuff. We got voices. We heard Dad would sound like Dad's voice on there.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was watching Huff Paranormal. If anyone's familiar with Steve Huff, Huff, Huff. Yeah.
I was like, what, Puff? What are you
smoking? No.
Cigarettes? What are we doing? Vaping.
I know, right? Puff Paranormal. No, Huff. Steve Huff. He has a YouTube channel. And I heard about him about 6 years ago, I guess, because I've been doing this quite a while. And how he would use certain types of spirit box communicate applications, and he built speakers and things like that to help him with the copper wiring, to help him get the clearest connection that he could to spirit. Basically what he's doing is creating a telephone right. Spirit, and he'd put his audio on his YouTube channel, and so I started using Spirit Box, where what happens is it's an application that it's a frequency that sweeps through. You can get two kinds. You can get the kind that sweeps through radio frequencies, and you can hear voices that way.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, but the one I use, and I have, there's the old Spirit Box that sweeps through radio frequencies. It's pretty cool. And there's a lot of static. The Spirit likes to use static too. But then the one I really like is called Spiritist Box, where it sweeps through word banks. So the Spirit can pull out words out of the word banks, and they can use it to speak to you, to come through with conversations, sentences or words or things like that you can that you can understand. And what I do is I record them and listen to them later, because there's so much that's coming through. You don't always get everything. So record, slow it down. It takes a long time to analyze a session. Slow it down and then listen. So I wanted to share and then I realized that I was hearing, as I'm listening to these spirit box sessions and these EVP sessions, I was hearing people say, help me, that type of thing. And I realized, okay, spirit, there's a lot of spirit around that need help. And so Steve Huff had a YouTube video where he helped Johnny Cash cross over into the light.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it affected me so much. I cried, I bawled as I was watching it. It just affected me so much.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you could tell it was John. It just, there's no doubt about it I mean, he has tons and tons of subscribers now, and he does so much work. He's definitely the real deal. There's no doubt about it. So I started doing that, helping spirit move across and recording it, and listening for the communication after I'd helped spirit. And so I'd call on Archangel Michael to help bring the light, and those types of things. And I have one that I wanted to play, just a shortened version of it, of a gentleman named Walter that a friend and I helped cross over into the light. You can hear his voice. And there's, just so you know, I'm playing this recording so that you know what Spirit Box sounds like, because we're going to be doing a live one here in a little bit.
And by the way, if you have friends who are into this stuff, go tell them we're on live right now.
Right? Yes, Zach Baggins, yeah.
Zach Baggins, yep.
Baggins, yeah.
I love it.
He's a hottie.
He's delicious, isn't he?
He's a hottie. Okay. See here. Share sound. I'll make sure I do that.
And thank you to everybody who's making comments and saying hello. You know, if you're watching, we'd love to see your beautifulness. We've got 13 people watching. Thank you guys for being here. Ooh, here we go.
Okay, so this is the Walter crossover. And what I do is I injected my voice in certain areas to explain, guide a little of some of what I heard. Okay. And there's a lot in there, so there might be more. Again, this is just a condensed version, a shortened version of it. But okay, let's see if it's at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. You hear that?
Who needs help? Walter Dean. Need help crossing over? Hello?
Right here, it sounds like he's saying, "Don't leave me."
Yes.
In this next part, it sounds like Walter or someone says, "Am I unclean?"
Walter, we're going to bring the light for you and Any others that wish to cross over into the light? Or move into the light? Good.
There's so much going on there, but what I could hear was Walter perhaps saying thank you and others saying thank you, and another voice say or tell us to begin. In this next part of this session, I call on Archangel Michael to bring the light, and I hear a booming voice answer me twice, yes. And then when we do bring the light, I hear a voice sobbing, which I'm assuming is Walter saying this just can't be possible.
Archangel Michael. Please bring the light for these souls. Thank you.
This next part is after the crossover, and it sounds like truth, you helped us, and finally we're free.
Walter, are you in the light now?
Wow.
So that's
That is
profound.
powerful. That is powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Now, all of that sound that's going on, I realize there's like that echo nature to what's happening, but there's a lot of different voices in there. That some are loud. Are those all different spirits? Or do we know?
I don't know. We don't know, because it's sweeping through, well, the way I understand how it works, it's sweeping through these word banks. And depending on what I understand is depending on what frequency spirit's at, they can use whatever frequency they need to use to bring through messages, or it can just be words coming through the word banks without spirit using it. But when you get direct answers to your communications, then you know it's not the device itself. It's not coming from the application itself. You're actually talking to a corporeal being, someone who's invisible to you, to your senses.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really profound. That's I have tons, thousands and thousands and thousands of those, but that's probably that's a really profound one. And what we were doing was using a box that a friend built for me, that I asked him to build. He's an engineer, that Steve Huff recommended building. It's called a portal, and he used a little guitar speaker and put copper wires in it and do all this kind of weird stuff. There's no way I would have known how to do it, but that's why it gives that deep resonance. And hopefully you could hear what I in heaven. Yes, Lauren, I heard that too. You can hopefully people heard who I'm pretty sure was Archangel Michael's voice answering me with yes twice. This deep. Did you hear it, Michelle?
I did hear the deep yes. I didn't realize it was Archangel Michael. I thought it was still Walter.
Oh no, I called on Archangel Michael, and each time I called on him, I said, Archangel Michael, are you here? And I heard yes. And then, will you please bring the light for these souls? I heard yes. So
that's because I did hear that. I did hear, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I just heard Archangel Michael go, yes.
Yes. So that's what a spirit box sounds like. And You were watching on, I was watching on YouTube. You couldn't see me there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might not have been.
I hope we're streaming on both channels.
Yeah, and Lauren, you heard In Heaven. Yeah, absolutely. I heard that too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, on your YouTube. Got it. Sorry,
Oh,
Lauren.
so on my, I'm not streaming on mine. Okay. I needed to put in that second link. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So this is on New Earth Rising.
Yeah, this one's
Sorry,
on
Lauren. Okay. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Go ahead.
She can fix it because she's like technologically brilliant.
Well, obviously not if I didn't hook us up to my YouTube channel like I was supposed to. All right. So fill in the gaps there, my dear, if you would.
So this is really cool. You know, we all have the capability of communicating with spirit, whether it's our loved ones on the other side, you know, disembodied spirits, angels, archangels, ascended masters, Jesus, you know, councils of light, all the way up through the spiritual hierarchy. We all have the capability. Part of it is really having an open mind. What happens with a lot of times is people go in and they expect things to be a certain way, whether it's how they've heard it's supposed to be. Maybe they've watched a show like, you know, Paranormal Investigators, and they think it's supposed to be like that. Maybe they're supposed to think it here's like, or it would sound like what we're doing here on the spirit box. And so it's really, really important to go in and to do this with a very open mind, to receive what you are getting, because everybody's experience is different. And it's even using something like a Ouija board or an angel board. I'm so excited. Ouija boards scared me so bad when I was a kid that I actually took it and I ran all the way down to the end of the street to the fireman that lives at the end of the street and put it in his trash can. I was like, well, this is going as far away and it's going to go to the fireman because he's the one that rescues everybody. and it scared me so bad. And I have been like, I am not touching that thing. But I like the angel board idea.
Yeah, it's let me see. Excuse me for 1 second while I pull it out.
Yeah, that's fun. You know, and you know what is so cool too is when all of you are here with us listening and joining in this, because we create like this beautiful bowl of beautiful energetic resonance amongst us, because guys, we're going to do a live spirit box here. And so I'm so happy all of you are here. We've got a bunch of people listening in, and it's really fun. And so if you have anybody, any friends, anybody you know that is into this kind of stuff, go invite them really quick.
Yeah.
And also, oh my gosh,
I can't see the board.
You can see the beautiful angel right there. You can't see the
board,
but you can see the angel. Oh,
there.
Wow, look at that. I have to have one.
Look at my head. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Abby calls that, I'm a floating head. I'm a floating head.
That's an angel board. Right. That's one of them right there.
Oh, I gotta have me one of them.
Yeah. And then here's my wolf board. You can get them on Etsy or eBay or something. You just call them, they're called spirit board.
And now, do you use a planchette with that, or do you use a pendulum?
I use a planchette. You can use either, but I use a planchette. I think there has to be a connection to the board.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, but you can use a pendulum, definitely. But I like having a connection.
Yeah, I do too. And pendulums, I'm too strong-willed to be really accurate with the pendulum because I just tell it what I want it to tell me. And it'll be going, yes. Oh, no. Okay. No. So that's not my best modality to be using.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way.
Is really cool.
The planchette is good. And the more if you decide to work with a spirit board, again, surround yourself with light and your guides and angels, and your loved ones.
And bless the board.
Bless the board. Always, yes.
Bless the board with love and light. And
remember that what you're putting out, you're getting back. So if your frequency is down and you're in a grumpy mood or something like that, or you're not doing well, you're going to get that kind of frequency back. So it has to do with what you're putting out and what you're attracting. Like attracts like. So
absolutely. Yeah. Lauren's asking a really good question. She's saying, does angel board keep bad spirits from coming through?
It's
not the board, not necessarily. Right. It's you. It's you keep the bad spirits from coming through, because it's like what Sharon was just saying. You know, if you're in a bad mood, if you're being a little rare, or if you're in fear, like I'm a little bit scared of using those things, but I'm very connected to the angelic realms. I've worked with the angels for decades. Archangel Michael is one of my main guides. And so that makes me feel like, oh, okay, it's just my personal feeling about it, but it brings it back into that, oh, well, this is okay. So I'm going to have that kind of frequency. I'm going to have that trust. I'm going to have that higher frequency than fear. And literally, I could look at a Ouija board and I could look at an angel board. This would be like, heck no. And I could look at this and be like, of course, it's the same thing. But the angel board, I feel good about. So that's what I want to use. Yeah. So it's really your own energy is what it's all about.
It is. It doesn't. Yeah. It's nice to definitely keep.
I'm so excited. Ouija boards scared me so bad when I was a kid that I actually.
I'm trying to. Let me mute this.
And that was a great question, Lauren. Thank you.
Yes, I was
really
muted.
Important question. Thank you.
I was muted. Sorry. So I guess I need to look at my channel, Ascension with Sharon Kumara channel, see if there's any messages, any questions there too. I thought I was seeing it here, but I'm looking at New Earth Rising stuff. Technical difficulties, not really.
Can you see it? Do you want me to go to yours and see if there's anybody over there doing it? I can go on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll beat you there.
Okay. I'm already there.
Oh, darn it.
I just need to mute it because I don't want to have feedback. Let's have to figure out how to mute it. It's not showing it. Anyway, we don't want to keep you guys hanging, you peeps hanging. So
but we kind of do. It builds suspense.
All right. Who's coming through then? Lauren is asking, you mean are you talking about on a spirit board? Is that what you're talking about?
So the chat seems to be matching your.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we're getting it on both sides.
Okay, good.
So who's coming through then?
If you're talking about who's coming through on a spirit board, it's whoever you call in. Okay. Yeah. You can, what I do is, and I've been using a spirit board for a long time, and I haven't used one in a while, but it's fun to use every once in a while. The more you use one, the clearer you get, and the more you'll be able to tune into the energies that are coming in. I always call on my guide, and I was communicating with my guide on a spirit board for quite a while in the very beginning. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? You wouldn't think.
It makes sense, though.
We're so programmed to believe that the tools that we have that are, evil or whatever to communicate with spirit. It's just a matter of being in that high frequency when you're using them and knowing what you're doing, and they're not for children.
No. No, there's definitely, you want to be in the right mind. You want to be well rested, well hydrated. You want to do a little prayer, a little protection, and know who you're calling on.
Yeah.
Too. You don't want to just reach out into empty space, say, hey, who's ever there? Come on in.
Yeah.
No.
Not at first. Not at first. I mean,
not at first. Right.
We kind of do that with a spirit box, but but when you're using it by yourself, I would say if you have any loved ones you want to communicate with, and start with them, start with your guides, that type of thing, until you get used to using one. And then anything that feels bad or doesn't feel right, that feels kind of yucky, and something's coming through that is not loving or makes you feel good, makes you feel right, just cut it off and tell them to leave, and just cut it off. Yeah. That's all you have to do is stop.
Yeah. You have the authority to tell them to leave.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, is having an understanding of your spiritual authority when you're doing any of this kind of work is really important too.
Yeah.
That you're the boss, no matter how pushy they might get, you're the boss.
Right. Right. Yeah. And then I would put the board away if you plan on using a board or any kind of tool. I mean, you're not going to, it's not going to happen basically, but if you get anything that doesn't feel right, put the board away, use some clearing, sage it, that kind of thing, whatever you would do to clear anything in your environment. And then when you're feeling good and feeling up in frequency again, then, take it out and use it, and don't use it. And if you have any fear in you, don't do it. Yeah. You got to clear that.
On those lines, Marianne is asking us, have you ever guided an evil spirit to the light?
I don't recognize evil spirits when I'm working with spirit. If I don't attract evil spirits, they don't come to me. I don't need to even, I know, because I don't recognize anything that's evil when I'm working with spirit. And I would imagine that an evil spirit wouldn't want to go to the light anyway.
And they wouldn't want to work with someone who is of the light either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the other reason why you want to keep your frequency up. You want to keep your energy good. You want to know who you are in spirit. You want to know your spiritual authority. They don't want to come in for that. But that was a good question.
And I'm not sure what you mean by evil too. I mean, I've worked with definitely, and I know Michele has too, worked with spirits who don't feel worthy of moving into the light, feeling like they are going to be judged by God. They've been taught that whatever they've done in their life that they feel guilty of, or shameful, or whatever, that they think that they're going to hell. So I've had to have that conversation with them and let them know there is no judgment in the light, that everything will make sense, and everything will be explained to them about how they handled their life or whatever in the light. And they can't grow if they stay on the earth plane. I don't know if that's, but as far as evil, I'm assuming you mean someone who has done evil deeds.
There's always forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because the light is love.
Right.
The light is that unconditional love. So, and another thing to remember too is, spirits have free will just like we do. We can't force them to do anything. So if you have a spirit who probably thinks it's evil, comes to someone like Sharon and I, it means they're ready to move into the light. So you're not going to deal with what you would think evil is, right? They're not going to mess with people like us.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. They don't want anything to do with. I have come across spirits that are trying to keep people from moving into the light, from being helped, that are keeping people trapped on the earth plane, because it is like a physical plane. Yep. And I have come across that where we'll have to work through with help, through helping people know that they are powerful and they can move away from that spirit, that they don't have any hold on them, that they're no longer in the physical body and they can move away from whoever is keeping them.
I lived in a home that was incredibly haunted, but one of the things that was going on actually in the backyard, there's a big pagoda in the backyard, and I kept seeing children, but they were like hiding in this pagoda thing. And all of a sudden one night we were all sitting out there and we saw a tall figure, and everybody kind of looked at each other, went, there's somebody up there holding, oh, I'm getting chills. Somebody up there holding these children. And as soon as we started telling the kids, you are free, we literally saw these little spirits, these little children spirit running down the stairs and running. And we just like, there were 5 of us who were all like, put up a light portal, bring in the angels. I was like, woo. Wow. And these kids like ran to the light. It was, I'm getting chills. It was beautiful. Yeah. And then we got the guy to go in too.
And oh, good. Well, there you go. That could be an answer to Marianne's question right there. Yeah, totally. I've worked on house clearings and where people are, the spirits are hanging around that are, angry or, for whatever reason, they're angry and don't want to cross over into the light. They're angry at the people in the house or taking it out of the people in the house. Maybe they're murdered or something like that. And so helping them. And what helps the most, I find, is when they see their family or someone that cares about them, helps a lot. And letting them know that there's no judgment and
and doing all the work in love.
Yes.
Because a lot of times that love will dissolve whatever we might think is evil. We'll dissolve that immediately, because really all of creation is a creation of the divine. Yeah. It's all originally created in that love frequency. So anything that we might deem evil or all this bad stuff, it still has that spark of divine creator within it. It still has that spark of love. And sometimes just being exposed to that can be an instant just poof. And so it's always doing this stuff. You do it with the energy and the mindset of being love. Right. Doing this in love, doing it in service with a loving heart.
Yes.
And that makes a difference too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. I'm glad, Marianne. Thank you for asking. Definitely.
Yeah. Good questions. You guys are doing great questions. This is awesome.
All right. So let me play a couple of EVPs, the difference between EVP and a spirit box, and then we'll do a spirit box session, a quick spirit box session. Sound good?
To do a spirit box session.
Yeah, I'll just do a couple. I've
never done one with Susan. Oh, I almost did it again with Sharon. Her name is not Susan. It's Sharon.
Today,
when we first started playing together, I called her Susan all the time, and I have no idea why. Poor Susan.
Poor Susan. Let me fix it here. Wait, did I lose my? Looks like I lost my files here. Oh, wait, they're there. No. I use WavePad and it updated this. There it is. Okay, got it. It updated the application, and I'm very confused about how it works now. Okay, moving around it. All righty, so these are just a couple of quick EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon. Here's one, and this is not a spirit box. This is straight through a digital recorder without a spirit box. Okay. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Play that once more.
It sounded like something about the smile.
And I think what he's saying is, I love your smile.
Ooh.
I'll take it. And then here's another one. Does
that marry me? That is so cool.
That's my twin flame on the other side. See, you can do that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is so fun. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Did you guys all hear that? Did you guys hear that? Lauren is saying, are you expecting only local spirits to the spirit box? Good question. So when we do the spirit box, it'll be spirits that are near you, Sharon, right?
Yeah. There is no really time and space on the other side. So the way I understand it is we can reach, it can be anyone for you too, anyone in the audience. It can be anyone in the audience because they know you're here. Your loved ones know you're here. Your loved ones know the way to, because we're connected. And that's why you can do remote readings.
Correct.
A person does not have to be right in front of you. We can do remote healing, remote readings, that type of thing, because there is no local time and space. It's we can connect on the superhighway grid. Right, at any place and time. So no, we can also get any spirits to come through that might be connected to any of you, which is why a big reason why I want to do this too, and see if you have anyone that that you might want to communicate with, and you can ask them to say your name or say their name and see if you hear anything, and if you want to do that, then that will be really amazing.
So cool.
Yeah, your mom. All right. I'm going to have to do this. Are we ready? Could everyone hear the EVP? EVPs I just played. Anyone that did not hear that wants me to play it again?
Yep. I think everybody heard it.
Okay.
I'm monitoring the chat, guys.
Okay.
Oh, Lauren says, cool. Hi, Mom. Say your name. It's cute.
Right.
And it's interesting. My mother's father, my grandpa, he's like really close in here, and he's a shenanigator. And he's watching really close. It'll be interesting if he tries to use that. He's welcome.
Okay. All right. So let me, I don't need to share screen for this one. I just need to hook up the speaker.
Battery high. Connected to Sharon's Galaxy A51.
Okay, that's my phone.
I heard a voice.
I know, right? So I'm going to unplug. Whoops, wrong one. Unplug this one. Unplug. I'm not in the dark anymore. Okay. All right. So this is called Spiritus Box.
And that's an app, right? That's an Android app?
Yes.
Welcome to Spiritus.
Can you hear it?
And I'm going to turn my mic off so we don't get any weird stuff going on here too.
Okay. Hello, is there anyone here that would like to talk to us? Yes, there is. Who's here, please? Rowena? Alex. Is there anyone here for our audience?
Yours.
Elon?
Social.
Hi, everybody. Is Lauren's mom here? Have mercy. You can use this app to speak to us.
Wait. People.
Is Marianne's grandma Colleen here? Heaven? I keep hearing Rowena or something like that. No. Is there anyone here who needs help?
5.
Jim? Sydney? Jim? Does anyone need help? Moving into the light.
Did I hear Sharon?
My name a lot.
That's my mom's name.
Oh, is it? That's right. Is Michelle's mom here? Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Mother. I heard mother.
thanks, Mom.
So we're going to do a quick spirit rescue. A quick spirit rescue.
Girls.
Girls. If anyone needs any help moving into the light, we ask the spirits here that are in the light to help them. And we ask them to gather round. Heard they're here. let us know if anyone, something.
No.
Okay, we're going to help you by asking Archangel Michael to bring the column of light. Archangel Michael, please bring the column of light.
Yes.
For these souls. For those that wish to move into the light, turn around. Take your attention off the earth plane. See the column of light. Please. Do you feel what I feel? Man, I feel that in my heart. Do you see your loved ones there? Move into the light. Everything will make sense in the light. Is there a child here? Trapped. You're not trapped any longer. There is no judgment. There's no judgment in the light. Is everyone across? Please help them if they need help. I see them. Thank you. We're going to assume everyone's in the light and leave you to help any who are not. Any of the angels here and the guides. Okay, we're going to close this session now. Thank you, thank you. We love you all. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Wow. Lauren, you heard the... Ooh. We got echo going. Oh, there we go. Lauren,
Okay.
you heard the name Polly too? I heard that name as well.
I notice whenever we start asking for people to gather that need help, the energy just starts shifting. You feel the shift, yeah, and it gets more active,
Condensed, yeah.
Yeah, it gets more active. Yeah, I felt that something in my heart center for sure when that was going on.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, it was. There was lots there. That's why I record them and listen to them later.
Lauren, I heard Polly. I heard the name Polly. So if you were hoping for Polly, I heard the name, and I'm getting chills. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
She was there. And
Yeah.
I just want to, I was writing down names as I heard them.
Oh, good.
And I just wanted to kind of say them out. You were saying some of them too. But I heard Rowena, Alex, Richard, Elon, Jim, Sydney, Polly, Sharon, Michelle, Robert. And then I heard one that was like, or actually a couple that sounded like they were in another language. There was someone in there that was speaking that sounded almost like Japanese or Chinese or something like that too. So if anybody has any connections to that, that might be something for you as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute. Lauren said Polly is her mother.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Polly, for coming through.
So that is a one way to use spirit box.
That is super cool. And I'm sure if we went back and went slow through it, we'd get a lot more out of that, huh?
That's what I do, is slow it down. I didn't bring my digital recorder, but I can cut and paste the YouTube, or cut out that part of the YouTube video and analyze it and see. But yeah, and that's why it's good to record these when you do them, because there's so much.
There is so much. I was surprised, because like in your snippets, you've got little snippets out of there. But with that, it was names, and it was different languages, and it was different energies that were coming in. And it seemed like there was kind of one energy that was very male and came in with a deep voice that almost felt like it was kind of running the show.
Yeah.
Kind of like keeping all the kittens in one basket.
I do get one, usually in these, when I use this spirit box, I get a male like that with a deep voice, and he comes through with truth a lot. Truth. He likes to use that word a lot, truth. Yeah. And
that's good. That's good.
Totally.
Because, a lot of times people on the other side, they go over with their belief systems. I have had a couple of experiences when working with spirit where we're doing a spirit circle and we're doing, bringing in loved ones from the other side, and there'll be somebody that'll be coming in that will have like that, like, well, is this the real deal? What's going on here? What are you people doing here? Kind of
right.
Like,
totally.
This is bad. You can't be doing this kind of a thing. And it's interesting.
I always wonder, don't you ever wonder, Michelle, and those of you who are watching that communicate with spirit, what type of scenario it is when you're communicating with spirit? What are they doing? Are they standing there next to you? Are they sitting in a room? Because if you're in a group, because you have bringing, a few family members together, are they sitting in a room in their recliners, or what are they just sitting around having a conversation? I always wonder what that looks like. I mean, they give you images a lot, but you got to wonder how is that pan out on the other side when they're talking to us? Are you okay?
I just got like a okay, so this is what I'm being shown.
Okay.
It's almost like I heard kind of like a chuckle, but it was like, what are they all sitting around in their lounge chairs? And so the visual I had was, yes, they're all hanging out. They knew this was going to be happening. Everybody got ready. And then it was almost like the wall started to dissolve and open up.
Nice.
Kind of dissolve, open up. And then they could see us doing this and they could see the opportunity to use the spirit box as light. And so that's what I just got shown.
Nice.
Like straight shot to the third eye right there. And Bob too. Yeah, I heard Bob a lot too, Lauren.
5 times. Do you know Bob, Lauren?
So cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And there were other names that were in there. Richard was said several times. Sharon was said several times too, because I know they speak your name as well, but I could feel there was something coming. So.
Yeah. I even heard my nickname, Sherry, which comes through, which what my family calls me, so I heard that too, and that comes through sometimes. My family call me Sherry.
Love that.
I know that that's my family when I hear Sherry. Okay, so you don't know a Bob. Okay.
Does anybody else know a Bob? I'm sure people would have spoken up if they did. And also, guys, if any questions about what we're doing here too, I mean, please ask them, because I know if you're here, you're interested in this kind of stuff, right? Well, he says maybe her sister-in-law's father.
Okay.
So yeah.
You never know. You never know who's going to come through. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they hear there's going to be a party and everybody wants to go.
Right.
When I did my live spirit circles, that's what I used to do. We're throwing a party.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wants to come is invited, but you have to behave yourself. You have to wait your turn. I had protocols from.
Right. Monica, are you still here? I know you had a question earlier. I think this.
Monica.
Yeah.
Monica said, Mimi, I use my body as a pendulum.
Oh, Ricky, you said I knew Bob who passed last year.
Oh. How are you feel? Does that feel resonant with you, Ricky? Are you feeling that was him? I mean, and you can really feel it. You can really feel it if you let yourself feel it, because it's like I heard Sharon and I knew that one was for me, but then I heard it again several times and I knew that was for Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bob.
Yeah. Trust your feelers.
Trust your
feelers.
That's why you have them. Very cool. That was super exciting. I'm kind of like let's do it again. Let's do it again.
I know. We can if you want to.
Does anybody want to do it again? Who wants to vote?
The Android app is Spiritus Box. Let me type it in here. There's many out there, but this is the first one I got.
Mary Ann just said, what is the Android app? Spiritus Box. Makes me want to have an Android.
I think you can get one for iPhone too. I'm not sure, but I have an Android, and that's the first one. One of the 5 Bobs was him. Okay.
Oh, that was, Ricky, then you're right. If that pops in, that's how this stuff works, is it just like pops in. It's like, oh, that was for me. Because that's what I was really startled that I felt that, because I could feel my grandpa coming in, but it's my mom. That's my mom's dad, that grandpa that was there.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes people come in or like hold the door open for another spirit to come through too. Yeah.
So, unless you care to do readings for the few of us left, Lauren said, sure. Okay. We can do readings, whatever you want to do. Yes, again. All right, we'll do another one again, and then we have a few minutes left and we can do some readings. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Okay.
I do readings every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on my channel, on my YouTube channel. So if anybody wants those readings, you can come and do that too. It's called Spiritual Chit Chat. So come on over, 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Battery high. Connected to Sharon's Galaxy A51.
All right, guys. So I'll write down names. You guys write down names too, right? Let's all do this together. For all of us together, it's that much more powerful.
Sherry. I heard Sherry already. Hello. Hi. Is there a child here?
No.
Who's here? Who's here, please?
Ring.
Awesome. This is pretty awesome. Can you give us your names, please?
Emos.
How is everyone?
Sailor assistant.
We're good. Thank you. Ravine? I keep hearing wolf. Friend? How many spirits are here talking to us? How many people? Yeshua?
I heard that too.
Is Yeshua here? Yeshua?
Wait. And the
Yeshua. Bob. Bob, are you here for Ricky?
And next Monero.
Any messages for anyone who's here?
Ah, there we go. Knew it.
Rose.
Rose.
Yes.
2.
Oh. Some.
Sirius.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's. Right.
2.
Oh,
Ben.
Ben. Okay.
We're
We're going to close now.
Is
I did hear, help us, please help. Can we do another?
Help us
clearing?
what?
Help us, please help.
Pip.
Can we
Okay.
do another?
Do another. Oh, yes. All right, we'll do another one. Archangel Michael, please bring the column of light for any of these souls that need help moving across into the light. Archangel Michael,
Pass.
any that need help, turn around. Take your attention off the earth plane and turn around. And see the column of light. Look for people you love. Find them. They're waiting for you. And just move across into the light. Death. Yes, you have died. You've left the physical. There is no death. Ooh. Are you mother? I heard mother. Are you in the light? Do you see your mother? How does it feel in the light? Susan? Is everyone there that needs to be in the light? Philip, that's my dad.
Yeah, I heard that.
Dad. Please help anyone that isn't able to move across or doesn't want to. Explain to them it's okay. There is no judgment. Help.
Girl.
We're going to end now. We'll close this session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
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 Okay, we love you all. Thank you.
Man. Yeah. Zero.
Hmm. Got a lot of names that time, guys. Yep, Alice was one of them. I got
Nice.
Susan, Phil, Rabine, Wolf, Brandon, Awesome, Where Are You? Wing or Wang. I had family come through, my cousin Stanley, my biological father's brother Gary, and my grandpa Tom.
Wow. I heard Tom.
Mother. Yeah. Yeah. He wanted to come through, but my mom had to come through before. Yeshua, Rose, Jenny, Bill, Ben again, or Ben is my biological father's father. Jeff, Moshi. I heard Hail Mary. Philip, Sylvia, and then I also heard Death and then Trust.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot.
That is a lot. And I'm sure there's a lot more going on.
Totally.
Marianne is saying her grandmother's name is Alice. Alice Colleen.
Alice Colleen. Lauren says that didn't sound good. What didn't sound good? The session?
Excuse me.
You're excused.
I'm drunk.
You're hiding it well. Okay. Okay. Are all of those spirits on a lower astral plane? No, not all of them. Most of them, I would say, are not. Yeah. That's just my experience. I have had guides come through. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what Lauren means. There was a very deep sound 2 times. Yes, that's a sound that I hear that sounds like a portal opens. And to me, that's not a bad sound, but it's something that where a portal is opening. When I hear that sound, when I call on the angels or call on the archangels, something opens. So to me, I love that sound. It's a good sound because I always feel the energy shift into something higher when I hear that sound. That's just me. And I've been doing this a long time. And when I've been able to get an archangel's voice or Archangel Michael, that sound precedes it. Yeah. It's like a portal opening.
Yeah. Lauren is saying it sounded unfriendly. We have to remember too, that, there's so many ghosty movies out there and all that kind of stuff. And they always use that dark kind of music and sounds with it, that we've made an association to that being bad and scary and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to remember that not all of those deep sounds are not of the light.
It's distortion. What it is, it's a distortion sound that that creeps us out because of Hollywood, really. Yeah. And when I first started hearing this, there were some sounds that creeped me out, but the more I worked with it, the more I realized that it wasn't unfriendly. But I appreciate that. Definitely. And it's our programming.
Yeah, it really is, because when I first heard all this stuff with you and it had some of this, I was like, but I trust you, so I'm like, okay, we're going to go ahead and go in. And I've done this work. I've done clearings. I mean, I've done stuff. I cleared a house one time where the spirit that was in there did not want to leave. And he would run from one side of the house to the other. And you can hear him slapping the walls as he went through the rooms.
Oh, wow.
It really freaked me out. But, it was interesting because I kept seeing a pirate. And she's like, and this is like in Newport Beach or something, and I'm like going, I keep just seeing a pirate. And she's like, we have nothing to do with pirates. I don't know she thought I was a kookaburra. Well, she contacted me like a month later, and she had found some stuff that she inherited from her father. And there was a gold doubloon, like a real one, in the bottom of this box.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, maybe that's what that pirate was looking for.
There you go. Yeah. And we just got to remember that spirit, they're people. They're just like us. I mean, when you are communicating with your loved ones, you don't think of them as not people, because they are people. They just don't have their physical body. And, 99.9% of the spirits that we come across are people. And some of them need help. And so I look at it as anyone that's on the physical plane that would come to me for help. You can't turn someone down that needs help in your vicinity, in your awareness, when you have the means to help them. So they're just people that may be confused or lost, and are, that don't understand. Perhaps most people that haven't crossed over are just confused and lost and attached maybe to people, to their emotional baggage, something that's going on, or maybe not even know that they died. They died in an accident suddenly. Sometimes we don't even realize that, because we don't die. we in Western society has not been taught how to die. We don't understand what that we don't die, for one thing, and the process. So as a society, we don't understand what to do and how to get through that process and what to do. Yeah.
And a lot of times, because of the way the medical is, most people die in a hospital, in a very clinical thing, whacked out on drugs.
Right.
So a lot of times it's like, because I really felt like when my mom crossed over that she was not sure what was going on. And she was a very spiritual person and understood all this stuff. But I think she had been so drugged out for so long that she was just completely like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When my stepfather died, I didn't know about this stuff. But when my biological father and my mother died, I had already started understanding a little bit about the afterlife, and I was having out-of-body experiences. And when my mother, she passed in the hospital, and we were just getting ready to take her home on hospice that night, or that next day, I'm sorry, and she died the night before. And I had an out-of-body experience that night where I went to the park, and Robert Monroe talks about the park in his work at the Monroe Institute, in his books. He says that it's a place where a lot of people that have died go to meet their loved ones. And I had an out-of-body experience, and I went to the park, and there was my mom sitting on a park bench, and she was given morphine to help her transition. And she was confused. She even said, "Sherry, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on." And I was trying to help her understand that she was dying. And as I was talking to her, and I saw her parents off in the distance, as I was talking to her, my stepfather pulls up in a limousine. I just see this limousine pull up right in front of us around the park area. And my stepdad gets out, and he's carrying roses, a dozen roses, and he gives them to mom and leads her into the limo. And then we got the phone call late that night that she had passed.
Oh, what a beautiful vision to have of that.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool.
But she was on morphine, and she didn't understand what was going on. So yeah, we can help our loved ones a lot more than we know when they're close to transition. That's a beautiful way to cross over, is to have your loved ones around you and helping you
Just
move across.
loving you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Being bathed in that love.
Right.
Wow.
Well, we've gone long enough, and we have not had time to do any readings. We were hoping to go till 6, right? So we have 7 minutes if anyone has a question.
If you've got it's so funny now that we've done this. I'm now all of a sudden, like, my family, and like my dad, not my biological dad, but my other dad's like, I all of a sudden heard him go, Dawn. And it'd be so like him, like not to come in with the group, but to like show up at a different time.
In his own time.
His own timing. That was cool.
Dawn. All right.
Oh, cool.
Does anyone have a question or anything before we sign off?
Going once.
I know, right?
Going twice.
And we will do this again. We have a different topic every Thursday, fourth Thursday of the month.
You want to know what?
What?
On my iPad, I am on your YouTube channel.
Mhm.
I'm not on New Earth Rising.
But New Earth Rising is because you went and looked at it a little while ago, right?
I did it on my phone though.
We're on both. I believe we're on both.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess we can figure this out later.
I know, right?
Nobody's asking questions. You're burning questions.
Okay. All right.
It's 5:55. Time for shift and change. Get your read into here.
And Michelle, does you do Q&A and readings once a week? Is that it? Is that what you do?
I do every Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay. There you
on
go.
my YouTube channel. That is just my name.
Okay.
Just go on YouTube
and I also do every once in a while, I do psychic stuff of, readings and Q&A on my YouTube channel as well with other psychics, with other peeps, with other colleagues. So there's lots of good stuff that we do bring your way. And again, we'll do this every month on the fourth Thursday of the month.
Yes.
So hopefully you'll join us again. We'll have different topics every time.
Or maybe not. Maybe I'll talk her into doing this again.
And we also have classes that we teach. I have a opening your third eye class and activating that tomorrow night on my website, SharonSananda.com. If you're interested in any classes, plus a dream work course coming up in May. And I know Michelle has stuff coming up too.
I do. I have every week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. I have a very advanced channeled meditation. And on Fridays, I have it's called my master courses. They're usually 4 to 6 week courses. Right now, we're studying the Ascended Masters and all of the different levels and layers of what that actually means. It falls into the spiritual hierarchy and into the Christed consciousness and all that, which is really cool. And this Saturday, I have a spiritual intensive, starts at 10 a.m. And it is, we're going to go in and clean incarnational, ancestral, karmic, and childhood connections, trauma, whatever needs to be cleared. We have a lot of like vows and contracts and commitments and all that kind of stuff, incarnationally and ancestrally, especially. And so we really clear that up, and it's a huge clearing. Plus we're doing it on this super powerful energy. And so it's going to be really good. And that's on Learn It Live. So if you do learnitlive.com and put in Michele Ambergy, you can see all the classes that I'm doing.
Cool.
So I got a lot going on too.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. Charlene, I'm glad that you found it interesting, and hopefully we didn't freak too many people out, and we'll say goodbye for now.
Okay, guys, thank you all for being here. We love you. Come back.
Yes.
Come back.